Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
I know it's different and it might look a little scary because we're all wearing masks and you can't see that we're smiling, but we are just so excited for them.
1 week from now, we'll be talking about what Fargo students experienced after going back to school during day one.
Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has an inside look at what the first day back in the class will look like in our COVID in the Classroom series.
Students will soon walk through the doors of their school for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic rocked the world. For kids in Fargo, it will look different as soon as they're dropped off.
Instead of going to the playground, instead of going right to the cafeteria, they're going to go directly to the classroom. And they will have time from 8:05 to 8:20 to eat breakfast.
In the classroom, teachers will be trying to keep a sense of normalcy while enforcing the necessary safety precautions.
Sanitizer when they come in the room. Anytime they leave the room, they'll be sanitizing as well, so that way we're not transferring germs. When they come in, they'll just be seeing me.
Every student will wear a mask, wash their hands periodically throughout the day, and desks will be spaced out, all facing the same direction.
We've talked about trying to bring them outside so that we could do a story outside, so that the mask is off. It feels a little bit more normal.
They can go outside, interact with the kids in their class without the mask, get some fresh air.
The way students check out books, travel down the halls, and even eat their meals, a lot will be different as social distancing comes into play. And that's why teachers are asking families to help prepare. Practice wearing a mask while at home so that your child feels comfortable. Also, practice opening snacks and drinks because things will be individually wrapped at school. Lindstad says through all of the changes, one thing will always remain the same.
I'm excited to be with the kids because kids just bring so much joy to your life, and when that light bulb moment goes off that they can read on their own, or they can solve a math problem or write a story all by themselves, it's so exciting to be a part of that journey.
In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Principal Hansen says what you see at one school will mostly coincide with what you see at all schools, as the district has a set standard for what they expect to see.
New rules are in place for school districts across the state as students head back to school. Each district must identify a COVID-19 coordinator and report positive cases to Superintendent of Public Instruction, Kirsten Baszler. So far, 26 positive COVID-19 cases have been reported in North Dakota schools, 14 of which are teachers, 10 are students. The remaining are other staff. The North Dakota Department of Public Instruction also reports 66 school-related close contacts resulted in these cases.
Let's take a look now at our updated coronavirus numbers. In North Dakota, there are 238 new cases in the state. The death toll is at 138. The positivity rate is 5.3%. Minnesota is reporting 542 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 14 new deaths. In total, more than 1,700 deaths have been attributed to the disease, while more than 64,000 people have recovered from COVID-19.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum said he's contemplating increasing the threat level for COVID-19 next week in places like Cass and Grand Forks counties. North Dakota as a whole has been in the green or low risk for months now. The governor said with the numbers we've been seeing lately, there was justification to have the discussion.
We feel good about where we are, but we don't like necessarily the direction we're going. And so again, we want to encourage North Dakotans not to be complacent right now. This is a time for us to be proactive because we have an opportunity to get everybody back to school, keep our businesses open, keep everything going.
The governor added that what he wanted to avoid was any statewide decisions. He'll be talking with local and county health authorities from the counties that are hotspots. That would also include Stark, Burley, Morton, and Ward as well.
The Centers for Disease Control has announced a new guideline that's causing some confusion. The CDC says if you're around someone who has COVID-19, you do not have to get tested. There are some exceptions. For example, your situation may change if you have health problems that make you more likely to suffer from a severe illness, or if your doctor or local and state officials want you to get tested. Many in the Valley are scratching their heads as experts express concern about the change, saying people without symptoms are responsible for a large share of transmissions.
To me, it seems like every day they're coming out with something different.
I guess I just feel like we all have to come in contact with it.
Those with the North Dakota Department of Health say they're reaching out to the CDC for clarification and will discuss the potential impact on testing guidelines in the state. Keep in mind that health experts are learning new things every day about COVID-19, meaning information we relay to you is constantly changing.
As college classes resume during the COVID-19 pandemic, campuses are putting guidelines in place to ensure the safety of their students. But one event held during NDSU's Welcome Week is raising some concerns. Devin Fry explains.
At this point, I feel like it's up to the students to say something to each other if one of them's not wearing a mask, because so far NDSU has given a pretty negative response on enforcing these kinds of things.
Well, North Dakota State University is putting guidelines in place to stop the spread of COVID-19. One event has raised some concerns. The Bison Catholic organization held a Welcome Week event on August 24th. One concerned student who wanted to keep their identity private sent these pictures to our whistleblower hotline, saying that the event did not follow social distancing or mask guidelines.
They should have been enforcing it from the get-go. It's not like this thing just started. It's not like NDSU just now said to do these things. This has been known for months, and they just seemed like they completely ignored it.
Although they did not agree to speak on camera, St. Paul's Newman Center did release an email statement saying that they did their best at the event to adhere to guidelines, including encouraging masks and social distancing. The event was held here at Roosevelt Park, which is not a part of the NDSU campus. Now, according to this written statement sent to me by the university, that means the group did not break any campus guidelines because the event was not held on campus. That being said, they did decide that this was a risky event to be held by a campus organization. Bison Catholic says that they will work to adhere to university rules in the future, but some worry it's too little, too late.
If they're going to have a program that's affiliated with NDSU itself, with like an NDSU affiliated name or anything associated with that group, they should be compliant with NDSU policy.
Bison Catholic also said in their statement that they aren't aware of anyone who went to the event who has tested positive for COVID-19. They also encouraged students who attended the event to take advantage of the free testing provided by NDSU as they return to the classroom. Reporting in Fargo, Devin Fry, Valley News Live.
Bison Catholic also said that they will strive to do even better for future events and will be working with NDSU staff to ensure a safe environment.
People living in a Moorhead neighborhood called our whistleblower hotline today. They're upset because they haven't been getting their mail for a few weeks now. And this is why. Recent storms tore down one of the cluster mailboxes in the Horizon Shores development. We reached out to several people, including USPS, the developer, and the city. They all say the neighbors are responsible for getting the mailbox fixed. Neighbors we talked to say they aren't happy about it, but they're glad to finally have an answer. And if you need help with an issue in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Authorities in northeastern North Dakota are asking for help in finding a woman who has not been heard of or seen for nearly a month. Erin Paterka was last seen leaving a residence in Arvilla, North Dakota on July 31st. She's 35 years of age, is about 5 feet 5 inches tall, and weighs about 110 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black zip-up style sweatshirt, a tan-colored hat, and green and gray cargo pants. Authorities ask you to call 701-780-8280 if you have any information.
Matt Bus says its drivers are safe and the public need not worry while on the road. That statement came after we obtained videos showing Matt Bus drivers in collisions this past year. There was a driver who crashed into a parked car after spilling his coffee. There was another who ran a stop sign and caused an accident. One driver hit a woman in front of the Ground Transportation Center and was later fired. All drivers are hired through a third-party contractor called First Transit.
Entire metro area, Dilworth to West Fargo, all has skin in the game, if you will. That they all provide funding for this service, and so we want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and documenting anything that happens to the vehicles.
Funding to buy or replace a Matt Bus comes from taxpayers and grants. Matt Bus says it replaces its buses every 12 to 15 years.
The third night of the Republican National Convention just wrapped up a few moments ago. Tonight, Vice President Mike Pence accepted the Republican Party's nomination. He spoke to a small group at Fort McHenry, the location of where the Star-Spangled Banner was written. Tonight, the vice president applauded President Trump and appealed to voters by saying the president has stood up for the country and has not backed down from any challenge.
These challenging times, our country needs a president who believes in America, who believes in the boundless capacity of the American people to meet any challenge, defeat any foe, and defend the freedoms we hold dear. America needs 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House.
Tomorrow night, the Republican National Convention wraps up with the Republican Party nominating President Trump. The president will speak to a group of about 1,500 people on the South Lawn.